Hello and welcome. This is going to be lecture about women issue. As women issue form an important part of syllabus for civil services examination conducted by UPSC and various state public service commission. The women issues are important in the preliminary examination and much more important in the general studies and the essays. One can rest assured that one or two questions are definitely going to be framed from the issues related to women. And the syllabus for the general studies paper 1 in particular provides for the topic. So United Nations celebration of International Day for Elimination of Violence Against Women on 25th of November becomes important. And thus we're going to see many interesting things that can enrich your preparation for the civil services. So 2021 theme for this day is Orange the World. End the violence against women now. Orange is the color that represents a brighter future that is free of violence against women and girls. And thus the theme is mostly Orange the World. In various years, the theme has been Orange the World, followed by some other actionable part. This year it's Orange the World. End the violence against women now. So, what is violence? The definition of it can be seen from the Declaration on Elimination of Violence Against Women issued by the United Nations General Assembly in 1993. Therein, the definition of the violence is given as follows. And if we are able to cite this definition in our answer, it's definitely going to be enriching and different from the lot. Violence, as defined by the Declaration on Elimination of Violence Against Women of 1993, is as follows. Violence against women is any act of gender based violence that results in or is likely to result in physical, sexual, or psychological harm or suffering to women, including threats of such act, coercion, arbitrary deprivation of liberty, whether occurring in public life or in private life. So it's a very elaborate definition having a wide scope, which includes not only acts but also threats of the acts, not only in the personal life but also in the public life. So this definition of violence is as given by the United Nations General Assembly. What is the status of the violence today? With respect to women, historically they have been deprived of equal rights and they have been subject to different types of atrocities. But even today, in spite of awareness, in spite of different initiatives taken by the United Nations and various other NGOs, the plight of the woman still is a cause of concern. And that gets reflected into the latest global estimates, which states that nearly 1 in 3 women, around 33%, of women aged 15 years and old, they have been subjected to physical and or sexual violence by none other than the related persons, intimate or non-sexual partners, or both, at least once in their lifetime. So the threat is from the persons who are intimate, let alone the strangers. And since this pandemic of COVID-19, there has been a rise in domestic violence. rise in the issue of harassment, physical and mental, and rise in the divorce cases too. According to United Nations report, since the pandemic, 2 in 3 women, around 66%, they have experienced some form of violence. And it's likely that they are going to face food insecurity in near future. So the women are going to be the receiving lot. Again, the report says that only 1 in 10 women they go to police for help. So only around 10% of the victims go to police for help. This is also a cause of concern. So while the gender-based violence can happen to anyone and anywhere, but some women and girls are particularly vulnerable. And this particularly vulnerable group, even within the women, are, for example, the LGBTQ community, the transgenders, the prostitute workers, and the like. Their plight is even more severe than the general plight of the woman in general. So these are the observations of the United Nations report that are alarming. And these reports can be cited in your answers. So there were efforts continually since the past to eliminate violence against women. In 1979, the Convention on Elimination of All Forms of Discrimination Against Women took place. It was adopted by the United Nations General Assembly. And we saw the definition of violence in the previous slide was given in 1993. So this Convention on the Elimination of All Forms of Discrimination Against Women is an important topic. Another initiatives include the activities of United Nations Entity for Gender Equality and Empowerment of Women, known as UN Women. It was founded in July 2010, and this UN Women observes the day each year. The International Day for Elimination of Violence Against Women is being observed by UN Women, and which creates awareness across the globe to make the people gender sensitive, to achieve gender equality and empowerment. These are the two key words. Again, the United Nations initiative is UNITE, unites, unite to end violence against women, which was launched in 2008, which aims at raising the public awareness around the issue of violence against women, both at the level of policy making and allocation of resources dedicated to ending the violence against women and girls worldwide. So public awareness, policy making, and allocation of resources. All these things are being looked at under this initiative. Unite to end violence against women. Then the Generation Equality Forum, it has started the initiative called as Action Coalition on Gender-Based Violence, which is based on collective action, investment in order to deliver concrete results. So it's a part of $40 billion commitment to women and girls of the world. So they have allotted sizable amount of resources also in order to address the issues of the woman and girl in order to deliver concrete results by collective action. So therefore it is Action Coalition on Gender-Based Violence. And the financial and policy commitments are given in crucial areas by this Generation Equality Forum. Those crucial areas are survivor support services, So not only rescuing the victims but also rehabilitating them becomes important. So the survivor must be supported. There must be services to support the survivors of the violence. Then formulation of laws that try to end the violence and bring in gender equality and empowerment of women. An allocation of more resources for the grassroots organization, because it's the NGOs, the grassroots organizations that can bring in participation of the women in the development process. And there has to be a network approach because the task is big, and the United Nations focuses on a network approach engaging NGOs across the globe. Then this initiative launched in 2017 is very important because it's one of the recent ones called the Spotlight Initiative. This Spotlight Initiative relates to elimination of violence against women, and it's a global partnership. It's a multi-year partnership between European Union and United Nations. This can be a question in the prelims, definitely you, and you can use this fact in your answers to enrich your answers and essays. So it's a global multi-year partnership between European Union and United Nations to eliminate all forms of violence against women and girls. It supports concrete measures to end violence and give prominence to three things: prevention, protection, and provision of services. This Spotlight initiative offers a broader efforts to ensure women's economic empowerment and also participation in all aspects of the society. It's a global effort to invest in gender equality and women's participation. These are the important keywords that must be cited by you in your answers: gender equality and women empowerment as a precondition and a driver for achievement of the sustainable development goals. So there is a general realization that without addressing the issue of the woman, without ending the violence against the woman, the world will not achieve sustainable development. Now, coming to the history of 25th November, why it is celebrated as the International Day for Elimination of Violence Against Women, you must know about certain things which are given in this slide. So, this 25th November was observed as the International Day for Elimination of Violence against Gender-Based Violence since 1981 by women rights activists in Latin America. And this date was selected because it related to the murder of Mirabal sisters in the Dominican Republic by the orders of the country's ruler Rafael Trujillo in 1960s. And these Mirabal sisters were political activists. So because of their brutal murder, they were a sensitive issue, and the women rights activists celebrated this day as a day against gender-based violence in 1981. Then the United Nations General Assembly issued resolution on 20 December 1993, and that paved a way for making the world free of gender-based violence. We saw that in 1993 the definition also came up, and then ultimately on 7th of February 2000 the General Assemblies adopted another resolution, and it officially designated 25th of November as International Day for Elimination of Violence Against Women. Since then, it's being observed every year, especially under the aegis of UN Women. So, the United Nations comes out with different themes every year, but it revolves around the word orange, which is related to a brighter future free of violence against women. In 2014, it was the theme was Orange Your Neighborhood. In 2018, it was Orange the World, hashtag Hear Me Too. In 2019, it was Orange the World, Generation Equality Stands Against the Rape. In 2020, it was Orange the World, Fund, Respond, Prevent and Collect. And this year, 2021, the theme is Orange the World, End Violence Against Women Now. So this can be a topic for your essay. And we have given these different themes from different years. For that can be a question. Out of it, some question can be made. This year, from November 25 to December 10, there's going to be a campaign which is Unite to End Violence Against Women. This campaign is going to be a 16 days campaign of activism concluding on the day that commemorates the International Human Rights Day. International Human Rights Day is December 10. So this campaign will conclude on the International Human Rights Day. Now it's important that we know about International Day for Elimination of Violence Against Women in contrast with International Women's Day. International Women's Day is observed on 8th of March. The theme for 2021 was Women in Leadership, Achieving an Equal Future in a COVID-19 World. So if in the preliminary examination it is said that the theme for 25th November was Women in Leadership, that will be a wrong option. The Women in Leadership, Achieving an Equal Future in COVID-19 World, it related to International Women's Day celebrated on 8th of March. This day originated from the labor movements in North America and Europe during the early 20th century. The International Day Against Violence that had its origin in Latin America, women rights activists, as we saw in the previous slide. International Women's Day is also observed by United Nations since 75. So since 1975, International Women's Day is being celebrated. So with respect to women, an important convention took place in Beijing that provided certain principles as to how the world should move forward in order to address the gender issues, to bring in gender equality and women empowerment. So that Beijing Declaration is also important when we are preparing for the women's issue. So that's all for today. Please do subscribe, like, share, comment, and hit the bell icon. And you can register yourself on the website to get access to different programs that the EYAS Academy is bringing for you for your preparation for civil services examination. Thank you and wait for the next video.